Sure, it'll be fine.
I think it worked. I think it worked. We're still having
Oh,
the recording
yay.
settings being a little wonky, so I have to download them from Twitch instead of it being stored on my computer, which is
Right,
very
okay.
janky. But I think it's working. Excellent. Welcome to Scriv's stream, everyone. Starting soon. Yes, yes.
Great. Great stuff. Scriv the Bard is live.
Bow, 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 bow. I'm alive.
Scriv the Bard is alive. Live.
I am alive.
Volume off. Right, yeah, it's working fine.
I'm a little tired.
We've got a 2-minute countdown.
But I'm alive.
I need to change my countdown. My countdown on my channel was like 30 seconds. I'm like, panic.
It's a race. Tierna, I love you, but your snoot does not belong on my keyboard. Dogs.
Oh, I'm going to share my 600-year subscription.
What? 600 years.
600 years since my vampire days.
The vampire days. Oh my goodness. What? 30 months? Holy shit. Holy guacamole, Batman. Oh, dude.
Awesome.
30 months? Have I been streaming that long? I'm trying to remember when the very first.
I only give you 12p a month, so it's not a lot of money.
Hey, but it's lovely. It's lovely. And it's much appreciated.
Imagine if there was an option for 12p.
I don't care. It still gets you the emotes.
It's the thought that counts.
It is the thought that counts. I appreciate you, my friend.
And Knight's been there since the very beginning as well.
Right. I'm trying to remember when that very first stream was. The Scrivtival. When I did Undertale to celebrate. That was to celebrate a year of doing the game design stuff.
That's right.
So if I backtrack that, we've been doing this for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a great journey, actually. I don't want to get
The
emotional
best.
again. Flipping heck. Every time I go on stream, on this Cryptid Creek stream, I start to well up.
That's because
Oh, I haven't told you.
we're doing
I told you
good
some
work.
other news today.
No,
Other
we
news
are
today.
live now
Hatchlings.
though, so
Oh, okay. Sorry.
they can hear our chatter. I thought you knew that. I thought you knew they could hear our chatter right before we go live. Oh, and that chatter got us a new follow. Hello,
Nice.
Zero Level
Like some ways
Media.
then. Hello.
Welcome. Thank you very much for the follow, friend. Welcome to our stream. Tonight we are back with the absolutely wonderful Hatchling DM once again. And yeah, we are with our game design series. We're back on our game design series with part 6 tonight. We are returning to Cryptid Creeks, talking about the playbooks. So that is going to be fun. Yes, hello, Dan from Mazes and Muses.
Hi, Dan.
How are you? How are you doing, my friend? I had so much fun chatting with y'all. We've got to do that again sometime. Almost Bedtime Theater said, howdy, and congrats on getting the venue for Gaming Rich. Sounds awesome. It does.
So this is what I was going to say to you. So Hatchlings is making a return in my local community with a venue, with a grant, and with a game design
Yes!
workshop.
Yes!
How cool is that?
That's amazing. You are living the
Yes.
dream, and I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I go back to my roots, which is actually delighted about, obviously, because I didn't want to lose that. I didn't want to lose the initial kind of reason for establishing this whole thing.
Of course not. We talked about that last time.
Yeah, we did.
The last
But
time
it's
you got
happened this week.
teary-eyed.
So Power Duo is back. Yes.
Aw, shucks.
Don't do that. You're much more muscly now.
Yes, we are.
You can kick my butt.
Wait, what? This isn't that kind of stream,
No, it's not.
Rich. You'll have to go elsewhere for that. Sorry, folks. There will be
Just
no
thinking about
butt clicking
thinking about
here.
playbooks. Think about playbooks.
So
Physicality.
where did click
Physicality
my
playbook.
butt come from? I'm so
Kick,
good.
not
Oh,
click.
I thought you said click.
No.
No butt kicking or butt clicking on this
No butt
stream.
clicking, please. No.
Wait, what'd you say? Clicking, okay. Yeah. I'm having trouble with my hearing apparently. Maybe it's either like my headphones or my ears.
Let's hope it's the headphones, yeah.
Hopefully it's my ears too.
Hello, hello
Age.
again.
Hello,
Odds and
hello,
ends.
odds and ends. Hello. Yes. So, and with some of the usual shenanigans that we open up
Yeah.
the stream with, we are back with your game design series tonight, everyone. We are talking about the playbooks for Cryptid Creeks. We are going to be basing the playbooks, now that we've decided we will have playbooks for this Powered
Yes.
by the Apocalypse game. We are designing them around the different roles that you would play on a ship. Now, I did my homework as requested from a couple weeks ago, and one of the things I did learn was that some of the roles do depend on the type of the ship as well.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a sailing ship, if it's like a yacht, which was kind of funny to read. Military ship, obviously. Yeah, we were talking about different knots.
Yeah.
And there's some really cool character concept art, but I don't think we're going to share it tonight.
We're not allowed.
We're not allowed
Lucille
to
doesn't like
share
sharing
it.
work in progress art, which is
But
fair
it's
enough.
so cool. It is
It is
so
very
cool, you
So
guys.
we've got all the teams for the game actually,
Yeah.
the conceptually done. Even with, and they look awesome. They're so cool.
We can't wait to share them with you when it is appropriate to do so. So
When they are
I
finished.
am going to go ahead and, without wasting any further time, pull up our Google Drive now.
Yeah, we got a new Google Doc.
Yeah.
So I love this working document thing. I only discovered it recently, actually. I didn't do any of the work on Inspirals overalls with it. Hi,
It's
Chris.
so
How are
very
you?
useful. What up, Hops? Okay. Where is creation? There we go.
So yeah, well, it's nice to have like a working doc. It's also nice that it saves automatically,
It does.
which
Yeah.
my sort of muscle memories like go to save every time, but I don't need to anymore.
Yep. Because
That's quite cool that way.
we all know, or most of us probably know, what it's like to forget to save.
Oh man.
And then
Yeah.
something happens and it's horrible. You lose everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
does.
I do still, like you said, by muscle memory, by habit, just do Control S, Control
Yeah.
S. There's no need to do that here. But look at that, y'all. Cryptid Creeks, designer Rich Oxenham, contributing designer and sensitivity reader me. And an amazing team. Oh hey, we recognize some of these names from some of the people in the
Yeah.
chat tonight. Hello, friends. What?
Spoilers. Spoilers.
Who's that nerd?
Who are those nerds? It's like nerd heaven.
All of the nerds. But you know what? My goal in life is to be able to just continue to work with and encourage nerds around the
Yeah.
world. This is the dream, really. Now, if only I could do this for my day job. I need to adjust my lighting here a little bit. No, it's fine. It illuminates the bags under my eyes. Okay. Oh, what a coincidence. So yes, we are working on playbooks tonight. So let's do a quick little review of what we have so far. Oh, you've added some things. The crescent moon cat, cryptid tail.
Yeah, this Google Doc is literally our working the whole game out in long form. So when we have ideas, so Monday evenings I'm going to do a stream where I'm going to start putting all of our concepts and our kind of what we did on a Thursday into the document.
Yep.
So it's going to be like a separate stream where it's just like basically like consolidating our ideas. So this is the table of contents. So this is what the game will look like
Yep.
in the end. And we talked about midweek about something to reveal about the Rivals group, which I think is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, we might even need to devote a session to that.
I think so. Yeah.
Like a
Well, we could do a session. We could do a session on NPC development and the Rivals group.
Yeah.
And potentially the Calamity,
Yes.
which is going to be
We'll
called
need
now.
to talk
so-
about the calamity.
Yeah, because the original idea for the game was that we'd have a very specific threat, which would have been a construction company coming in and trying to take over the kind of like the town or the creek village, and then it's threatening your home and livelihoods basically. But obviously that's very like narrow and limited. So what we want to have is people to create their own calamity potentially that will affect the creek community. And that could be anything. So we have to have tools for the people to create that. We're still keeping the mystery of uncovering the cryptid as the sort of main focus of the game. But and to stop this calamity from happening, but we're not limiting it to one scenario. If that makes sense.
Right. Because ultimately you want replayability. You want to have
and we want
that
created content. Yeah.
Yes, created content, the collaborative world building, and to some degree that world building informing campaign prep as well. So we'll talk about that. I can't wait for the campaign prep episode as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I think, yes, tonight we're looking at playbooks. We are also going to be, I don't know, are we talking a little bit about the function of the boat, or will that be next time? We'll see how far we get.
We'll see how far we get,
yeah. Okay, so Crescent Moon Cat Cryptid Tale. I'm excited for that. That's gonna be cool.
That's gonna be you, yeah.
Oh, I'm writing another story, guys.
You'll be pleased when you go down to see who the other one is written by.
Okay. We got River Scouts, How to Play, The Cryptid, The Calamity, Investigating and Preventing. Good stuff. Weather Worm. Are we allowed to know who's gonna be behind that one?
Yeah. Sash.
Yes!
Yeah.
Spirit Chip! Oh my God!
Because they didn't get to work on overalls. I wanted them to work on overalls, but it never happened. So I've moved it on to this now. So that's great.
I can't believe they didn't tell me yet. We're hanging out tomorrow, though. Oh, they don't know.
They don't know.
Snap.
So I'm gonna pitch it to them this week.
So I should not hit send on this text saying, "Oh my gosh." I didn't have a text typed off. That would have been very impressive if I did that quickly. But okay, that's going to be amazing. They are a fantastic writer and storyteller. Yeah, reveal via stream. Shh. Don't tell anyone, folks. Don't tell Spirit Jam. You are all read into this secret now. This is a tree house of trust. This is a boathouse of trust.
Yeah. No spoilers.
No spoilers, except that was a big one.
That's huge, yeah. Never mind.
See the bonus content you get by tuning in live? I mean, I guess this will all be recorded on YouTube as well, but that's okay. By then, they'll know. Okay, so, So you've started the Navigator? Oh no, is that the word you're using for the GM?
Yeah, using Navigator for it.
Does that mean we can't use Navigator for a playbook then?
We have to use something else, either the skipper or the.
You can say the pilot.
There's other terms for it.
There are lots of other terms. Okay, let's.
Yeah, I think Navigator is a great term for the GM.
It is.
I think it's a really
Inspiration's
it means it sort of like reveals quite a lot about that role.
I just can't wait to write about a big mischievous goblin of a cat cryptid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No more spoilers starting now. Okay. Technically, this whole series, game design series, is like a spoiler.
Oh, it's a massive
because
spoiler.
You're seeing the process as we go.
Yeah, I mean that's the intention behind it.
Fantastic, though. I like your inspirations. Good. Book of Two Halves. Ooh, nice. Feedback. Yeah. Nice. One of the dogs just farted. Not so nice. Okay.
That seems to be a regular occurrence on stream.
Every evening. It does.
Overexcited about it.
They're just so excited to be part of it and to be here with us. Also, this is like the time of the evening where they've had dinner and now they stinky. They are super stinky. Safety tools. Good. Creation. Ooh, okay. I don't want to get too distracted by all of those things because it's gonna take us down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Down different rabbit holes.
Maybe once a month we can have like an actual active creation stream where we're actually going through the document and typing it all out.
That'll
Like
be
you
fun.
did you do, yes, exactly. But for now, it's just headings mainly.
I like
And
it.
these are the playbooks, yeah.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 possible playbooks. Very nice. So interesting. The skipper, the engineer, the lookout, the wayfinder, the helmsperson, the trimmer, the cook, the fisher, the first aider, and the entertainer. Okay, I see what you're going for here. And there are a lot of different terms we can be using for these things as well. So did you choose these ones for any particular reason?
No, I went on to Google and
Hey, that's what I did too. Amazing.
and I feel like they're quite diverse
Yeah.
in the roles. And that's what we need, obviously, because we want them to feel fairly separate to each other. Obviously, that's the whole idea of playbooks.
They
But
are.
some of them are just tagged in there just to fill the number out.
Yeah.
I don't need 10. I think we need 8.
8 is a good amount, I think. Any more than that,
Yeah.
and we're going to run the risk of some duplication, because something that is true for a ship's crew, you have overlap, you have redundancies built in. Oh my goodness, hello Knight! 30 months too!
We were talking about that earlier.
Time of the month again, yes! Scriv Goat hype. Fire Goat. Fire Goat Cryptid. Rich.
We can totally do all these things. We can
I
do all these
know,
things.
but that would like bring it full circle. Oh man, I remember the
It would
first
actually,
day
it
we
would
met the
actually.
Fire Goat.
There you go, yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
we can totally
much
do
for
that.
the resub Scribble Knight. We were thinking about you earlier, like, oh man, you've been here since the beginning. Thank you,
Yeah,
friend,
exactly.
for your continued support. Okay, so
So just
This is-
copy and paste your ones. I'm intrigued.
I'll type them out.
Type them out, yeah.
I had some
Yeah.
ideas. So, I'm guessing you don't really want to have a captain, do you? A captain of the ship.
Well,
It depends, right?
it depends.
I also had engineer. I had the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I had the navigator, but that's already being used for something else. But the pilot and the navigator can be used interchangeably. I don't know why it's giving me
The
these weird
wayfinder. The
spaces.
wayfinder is another term for navigator.
Yeah.
Basically, I quite like the wayfinder term. I think it's quite nice.
The wayfinder is nice, and in fact, I would keep that. Pilot is just another way of saying the person steering the ship.
It is basically, yeah. Helms person.
A bosun,
Same as pilot. Bosun, yeah.
quartermaster, cook. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
cool,
had
cool.
medic,
Yeah. Same as yeah.
and then that's kind of where I had stopped, because there are a lot of other terms out there, like first mate, second mate, third mate.
Yeah, but they don't really work in terms of playbooks.
They don't. There's another one. It's called watch leader. But whoever's in charge
Okay.
of the watch, but you have that in lookout.
Lookout's nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
We
lookout.
want this to feel quite rural as well. Quite kind of like
Yeah, some of these are a little bit more formal,
formal, yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
a little bit more structured, but maybe a little bit more militant as well, if you're thinking about like a navy.
But we could have the captain though, in terms of like the player that wants to take the more of a leadership role
Right.
and have a higher mentality.
You
Stat
could do
and
that.
Stuff, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that. I think for the ones that I was looking for, also the ones that use like more neutral terms, that's kind of what I was looking at. You have a boatswain as well. You have a boatswain, you've got carpenters, you've got gunners, things of that nature. We could have something like, oh, I just clicked the wrong window. We could have something like a gunner if we wanted to say like, oh, you have the ship's defenses, but I think the lookout would be more
Yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah, agreed. Because the trimmer, it looks is a term for someone who looks after the sails of a boat. which I find quite interesting.
I found other terms for that as well, falling within like the bosun and the engineer roles, as well as a rigger, making sure the ropes and the sails
rigging,
were all good.
Makes sense.
But I'm okay with trimmer. For some reason, I was thinking trimmer would have something to do with the guiding of the ship as well. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No, trim is you trim the sails.
Yeah.
So that's the term.
Well, it is part of navigation then.
But of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about like looking after the speed and the kind of like
versus
the functionality
repairs
of the boat. The functionality of the boat. I guess. Engineer can be doing upgrades to the boat, which would be really lovely because we could include that as part of like milestones.
Yeah.
So you get like new sails, or you get to patch that one up, or you get like a paint job or something, or like things like that. We could even incorporate that in the chat. Feel free to like jump in which terms you like best, because we probably need like we said 8 of these playbook terms, and they need to feel a little bit diverse at least.
Yeah, we don't want a powder monkey, of course, because we're not going to have cannons on the ship. What if that was a thing, though? What if you had, like, the weapon master, gunner kind of role?
It depends.
Who's going to be
how
the
scouts...
muscle?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's quite important, actually. I mean, the those things that are more poetic, like a wayfinder, than literal term, like medic or cook, personally. Yeah. Maybe a slightly colloquial, kind of terms.
Yeah. They do sound a little bit more poetic. I would say that, a little bit more literary. I've just found the terms that are the technical terms for things,
exactly.
Really. That's what it was.
Yeah. But we can adjust them for ourselves. We can even make up slightly our own names for them. So the playbooks are reflecting the role and the character. Yeah, exactly. They're meant to do the dual kind of purpose.
Yeah.
So your 5 stats are to do with physicality, intelligence, mentality, personality, and sensitivity, isn't it? We call it.
Yes.
So they're kind of like quite unique stats in terms of different leanings in your character. So we want kind of, if we have 5 stats, then we could have...
Let's go back and look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We want... Yeah.
You want at least 5, but I think that there are other things that you can do with that. I mean, there are so many different combinations of how those stats would be represented and how they would be weighted. And actually, you wanted to do a point spending distribution kind of thing, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So, rather than... We could have recommendations, but rather than it being prescriptive for, okay, the engineer should have highest intellect.
Yeah.
Something like that. Instead of... we can give recommendations for this is what the stats for an engineer could be, but maybe make it more about different moves or special abilities or actions that they can have, and more about the role play.
Yeah, you're right. Because each playbook will have these badges, which are special moves. That are one use moves.
Yeah.
So that will dictate what people pick. At the beginning of the game, each player in session 0, basically, each player will have the playbook's choices in front of them as handouts, so they can choose it from there. And take it home, or even take it home and read through.
Take it home, yeah. And when it comes to the boat mechanics, because the boat is going to be an actual aspect of gameplay, and it will even be as simple as that. These are the roles that the scouts are serving on their boat.
Basically, so that's the idea.
I do think 8 is a good number. So let's see which of these might end up being redundant, right? So I think... Do you want the entertainer?
Don't need it. No.
Okay.
Definitely don't need it.
Just because it doesn't fully fit with the theme. I think any of them can be entertaining. But
yeah, for sure.
I think that would run the risk of, like, oh, this is your bard class,
Yeah.
And what
Cook
would
and
their
medic combined? That's interesting.
cook and medic combined?
Some sort of like nurturing role. That's what Almost
Yeah.
Bedtime saying. Possibly.
Possibly. I think the Wayfinder and Helmsperson can be combined. Because those roles are very often
100%,
combined.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I prefer Wayfinder.
Me
to
too.
That. Yeah.
So let's go ahead.
So,
Boop.
yeah.
Do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. For now, let's put Entertainer to the side. As much as I love a bard, because I'm also trying to think of how are we going to capture that in terms of the moves, but also the actual function of the ship, because navigating with the ship and repairing the ship and adding to the ship are all very critical things. And I think the other roles would be a little bit more tangible. Is the skipper basically the captain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Skipper's more of a sort of yacht or dinghy term.
Yeah. Would the scouts prefer skipper or captain, do you think? Skipper has a fun ring to it. It's very Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
The skipper and their crew. Okay. I like engineer. I think that fits fine. Do we want the lookout, the scout? What do you want to keep lookout?
I think lookout's fine.
Yeah.
Lookout's fine, yeah. Yeah.
So for trimmer.
Well, it's more about the speed or the
That
I mean, it's quite vital on a yacht to have a trimmer, because they're the ones that handle the ropes of the sails as well. You know, and they call out tacking and jibing as well to the skipper. But then, do we need a pilot as well then?
I think the Wayfinder.
Wayfinder's the
Wayfinder is both pilot and navigator.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
I would say we can combine those. So the trimmer is very specific with that title. There are other options that we could look at. We could look at actually, I think quartermaster might be a nice way to combine.
Yes, because they work
the
right
cook and the
next to
fisher.
The skipper.
The cook and the fisher could be combined into quartermaster, because the quartermaster is often in charge of food and water supplies.
Right, okay, perfect. Yeah.
And ensuring that everyone has what they need. So that could be a thing. Do we want to use...
They can combine them.
I like the title of quartermaster. I think it sounds cool.
Very cool.
Let's maybe
so under the
combine
skipper,
those
put the quartermaster. Put under the skipper.
Okay. Oh, why?
And we've got 7.
Why is the formatting weird for me? It's like putting in some weird spaces. I don't like it.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't.
You must change it.
I know how to fix this. We're gonna go with bullet points.
Yeah, that's easier.
For now. Quartermaster.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
And then...
Perfect.
Oh, gosh. What? There we go. Oh, I see what happened. Man, Google Docs is being weird. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably my settings. Don't worry about it.
What are some other ones we could also use?
So we've got 7 now, we? Yeah, 7.
We've got 7 now. Do you want to use the first aider or the surgeon, the medic? I don't want to use healer because that's very coded for like other systems and fantasy stuff.
100%. Yeah.
First aider sounds...
What about the morale?
The morale? I guess that would be the entertainer, wouldn't it?
Yep, possibly actually.
How do you feel about changing first aider to surgeon or medic? It just doesn't roll off the tongue as well as the other ones do because they all have
medic.
like...
I don't like surgeon, but medic I like.
Medic? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, cook and fisher are being combined into quartermaster. That's fine. No one's gonna be cooking on these boats. Now for the trimmer, what about It's not quite the same as a boatswain. Boatswain is the person who...
I don't know what a boatswain is.
So a boatswain is the person who supervises a lot of the activities on the ship. It could range from... They have a lot of different types of roles. They usually report to the quartermaster or the captain. Duties range from anchoring to provisions, which is also a quartermaster kind of role.
That's quite important then.
So we could say anchoring and the positioning of the sails together.
Or we could have a role called the anchor. That's quite nice.
That's
quite
I
nice.
like that.
Like a grounding force, and that could be the personality could be their main stat.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I like that a lot. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We can still add another one.
Just one more, yeah. Skipper, quartermaster, engineer, lookout, wayfinder, anchor, the medic.
So let me see what else I have.
Oh, the ship's
here.
dog. Yeah, we talked about that. The mascot.
Oh, we were gonna do not a mascot, but we were gonna do a cryptid like.
Yes, we were. Of course we were. That's important.
We don't want to call them the cryptid.
No, no. The connected. No, not that.
Synonym time. Bring out the thesaurus. What if we... Oh, what if we call them, like, the medium? Or is that too much, like, with spirits and ghosts?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
The
I know what you're trying to say.
The ambassador.
What's the person? I can't think of the word. I don't know why I can't think of the word. The person that sort of has like meetings with people is like a mediator.
The mediator. That's
good.
That's what my mind was searching for, and it came up with medium. I think the mediator.
Because it's between the two worlds, isn't it?
Yeah, that might be really nice. Mediator between worlds, negotiating the parlay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even with the people, even with the threat that's encroaching, the calamity that's encroaching, they could get more involved in that. You know, like in terms of the community.
Parlay should be one of their special moves.
Oh, 100%.
Where you officially
100%
initiate negotiations.
Yeah. I call parlay.
Yeah.
Parlay.
Yep. Now I gave it the French spelling. Is that still the appropriate spelling? Because it does come from the French verb parler, to speak.
We'll go with that for now. That's it. We've done it. We'll stream over.
Cool. We're good, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
See you later.
Have a nice night. Bye.
Now we can talk about the boat as well, though.
We'll talk about the boat. Well, I think we wanted to actually fill these out a little bit more, though. So
yeah, we want to fill them out. We also want to have how they lean towards certain stats, and we also want to maybe come up with some special moves. We'll do the whole shebang.
Ooh. So
that's what you call working things as a team.
Yes.
That was pretty smooth.
That was much smoother than like if I were to do that by myself.
Same. Right, so we've got eight lovely playbooks.
Okay, so the skipper. Let's just get some thoughts on paper, and we can make it nice afterwards. Because once again, never try to make your first draft the final draft. It's not gonna happen. Not. You're gonna stress yourself out, and you'll never complete your project. Ask me how I know. With my ever-growing work in progress lists over the years. Okay, the skipper.
So plus mentality.
Ooh, okay, yep. Plus mentality. What about personality as well?
Yep.
Plus mentality, plus personality. Nice. The, should we say elected leader? The leader. Because your skipper should be agreed upon by the crew, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
The elected leader of the crew. the skipper is responsible for the well-being of not only the crew, but also the function of the ship as a whole. This scout is often maybe like a strategist in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because they are responsible for all these things, but it's about keeping the team together, really.
Maybe exudes confidence.
Yeah, let's actually go back there. Responsible for the well-being and cohesion of
that's good.
the team.
Yeah.
This scout often exudes confidence and has a good eye for team strategy, or a good a knack for team strategy, we'll say.
Yeah.
Something to that
That's good.
degree.
So in the end
I don't
game,
want to go too far with this.
no, we're just a basic notes at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Basic notes. But also in the end game, we'll have obviously we'll say this. They may have a leaning towards these stats, right? But feel free, like in D&D. D&D's the best when people deliberately kind of like ruin their stat array.
Yeah.
They give themselves
Yeah.
really low stats deliberately. So we could say like, yes, this is a suggestion, but feel free to completely mess with it.
We'll say possible strengths. Mentality and personality.
Yeah.
So do we want to give them some special moves?
I think we should go through each one first.
Okay.
Or do you want to do the moves now?
I wouldn't mind getting some like
Some ideas
keywords down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as we're going through each one, I'm trying to like adopt the mindset of what that playbook would entail, what that scout might be like. So if we're having the skipper, what are some typical characteristics that you would see? So inspiring presence, I think, would be one of them.
Yep. 100%.
Strategizing would be another, although that might even be a tricky one as a move, though. Because how would that work as a move, as a mechanic? Because it would be saying, okay, I want to strategize. All right, role play, right? Strategizing can kind of already be done by nature of gameplay, and that's one that I've gone back and forth with in Bard as well. I think inspiring presence could be one.
Keep your cool.
Keep your cool. Yep. Keep your cool is good. Yeah. You need to stay cool under pressure and under stress, because if the captain of a ship is panicking, it's not really going to be good for the rest of the crew, usually. Yeah. Perhaps strategize allows a flashback mechanism. Yeah. So I've included a flashback action in Bard RPG, and that's exactly how I wanted to handle it. So you could say, I think we would have figured this out beforehand. I think we would have prepared for this thing. Let's do flashback. So you could do that. Maybe call it always prepared.
Yeah,
or foresight.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, hindsight.
Planning ahead.
Always prepare. Yeah, planning ahead.
Always prepared's good. Always prepared sounds scouty.
It does. Okay. I think that's probably good enough to keep us started with the skipper.
Yeah. What about I had something in my head then.
Catch it. Catch it.
Trying to
Catch the thoughts before they fly away.
Always prepared.
Be prepared.
What about call in a favor? I don't know. I don't know if that's again. It's about your background.
Yeah.
But one of the other roles might be more appropriate with that. I don't know.
Possibly. Calling in a favor. What are you envisioning? How would that work out in gameplay, do you think?
Well, like you would crit in D&D with a charm ability check.
I
Then
think
it'd
that
something
could
like that,
be
with
the
something
mediator.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like
so
that.
So when interacting with the cryptid, you could use that once per session. So essentially, like, you trump the dice roll, or you add like a D6 to it, like advantage.
Yeah. I'm
I like that. Jot that down already. Yeah.
Yep. Writing that down.
Call it something like instant connection.
Instant connection. You can call it appeal as well.
Yeah.
Ace up the sleeve.
Yeah.
Something
like that. Yeah.
Something.
We can work the terminology out later.
Sorry. Yes. Okay. Next. Quartermaster. So quartermaster, in charge of the supplies, the food, the tools, the equipment, making sure everyone has what they need to accomplish the job. Yeah.
So would be prepared be more appropriate for the quartermaster?
Ooh. I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it would.
Yeah, so move that one down. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, equipment gives bonuses, definitely. You can have a backpack each, basically. Almost bedtime's asking.
Yeah. And when it comes to acquiring tools and like going fishing, stuff like that, the quartermaster would be able to do that. So one of the things, and I think this will help to explain as we're going through this for the chat, one of the things that we're considering is the function of the boat itself. So this boat is how the scouts are going to navigate around the creek, the waterway. This is like your base of operations when you're out and exploring, because eventually you're going to get too far away from your homes. You can't just go back home and grab something. So this boat is your fort. It is your base. It is your lifeline, basically. So each role for these playbooks will not only have roles to support exploration and sabotage, but also affect the functioning of the boat. So with the quartermaster, it means you can go farther, maybe. You can go farther without needing supplies. If you start running out of supplies, maybe you have to go back to the neighborhood. You know, we don't know yet. With a good engineer, if the boat takes any damage or starts to show wear and tear, if there's bad weather, you know, and we're not going to say rough seas because we're in a creek. And that creek could be a waterway system. It could be like a canal.
Oh, no, rivers can get very hairy.
You know, they can get very hairy. So there's that. For a lookout, maybe the lookout could be one of the first to spot danger or to see things. That's your ranger. That's your scout type of class. Wayfinder, got to make sure you don't get lost in the cryptid-filled woods, right?
Yep.
Anchor, make sure the boat is secure. Also,
and the group's
could
grounded
be like
as well.
The group is grounded. Anchor could also kind of be like the muscle of the group as well. Lots of different things. Medic, self-explanatory. Mediator, they are the ones helping to confer with the cryptids and possibly even helping to sense when a cryptid is nearby.
100%. This is actually really good. They got a real lot of diversity to them. I've got a radical thing for the quartermaster.
A radical thing? Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
What's up?
Because having read quite a few Powered by the Apocalypse games, the playbooks aren't necessarily like copies of each one. So each section can be a slightly differing. Like in Monster of the Week, they have slightly different aspects to them. So what if the quartermaster, instead of having special badges, their backpack is they pick from a selection of key items. So instead of special moves, they have a full backpack of items.
Would that then mean the other players can't have certain items
I don't think so.
in their backpack?
No, I don't think so.
So what
I think
would
these
set it
be...
apart? That's the only thing. I like that theme. I really do.
Maybe they have one. Maybe they have one less badge, and they have an additional item. Something like that. So it's weighed more towards like equipment.
Yeah.
And kind of like
what if they
provisions.
What if they had like a preferred specialty or a tool? That they used, perhaps. That could be preferred weapon. That could be something that like they
Swiss
will
Army knife?
never run out of. A Swiss Army
Swiss
knife.
Army knife would be so cool.
That would be pretty good, actually.
Yeah, they've got like a multi-tool thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can saw branches. They can like you know like.
I like that idea from Almost Bedtime. I always like the ideas from Almost Bedtime, but this one, could the quartermaster have quote unquote something handy that isn't defined until they need it?
Yes, exactly. Yes. That's great. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe call it in a pinch.
Handy in a pinch. Yep.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, something handy's fine. Or in a pinch, yeah.
Extra inventory for tools. So perhaps there would be a limit for the other ones, but they can have something extra.
Yeah, so they'd be limited in terms of like, but the quartermaster has an extra slot, say, in the backpack.
Yeah.
And then one less special move, one less badge. That makes sense. I like that. It shows a little bit of a bit more of a leaning in terms of their like specialities, in terms of their utility.
I'm writing something down before I forget it, because we're just talking about the different connections to the functioning of the boat itself. And for the quartermaster, we were saying they ensure the ship's supply doesn't run out, which means you can explore for longer before going back to town.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. It will determine how far you can stray from your clubhouse or your homes.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Have a greater range.
This is a moving hub, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
This is a
And I kind of like it being a little bit
mobile hub.
Yes, a mobile hub. A mub. I kind of like it being a little bit of very light resource management as well. Because as scouts, you need to learn how to be self-sufficient. You need to learn how to manage those resources. Yeah. You need to know what to bring into the field with you. Yeah. Right?
And who doesn't love Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing?
Right.
Like no one.
Chumps, that too.
Yeah.
Chumps.
So if we have a little bit of light resource management, that'd be lovely. That'd be really nice.
So we'll just make a little note to ourselves there. Light resource management. Okay. Yeah. So quartermaster, we need a little bit of flavor text.
And we also need the stat leaning.
Yep. The quartermaster is responsible for ensuring the ship and crew are supplied with everything they need during their exploration / adventure. We'll figure out what word we like better.
Yep.
This can be anything from food to tools.
Yeah.
Or tools. Even some like, let's say, comfort from
onboard
home.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
What's that?
Comfort from home.
Yeah, home comforts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clubhouse comforts.
Clubhouse comforts, perfect.
So you take stuff from the clubhouse on the water.
Yeah.
On the road.
Without the quartermaster, the crew might not be able to travel as far.
Now, the only thing I'm thinking is it has to be a consideration. A lot of this will depend on how many people are playing.
Yes.
So we have to be careful that we don't limit groups if they're small.
Right. I think. I think you can narrow this down, because that's kind of like how if you're playing D&D, the idea that the party always has to have a healer or a cleric. Not necessarily. You can find creative ways to get around things.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
think. So even if there isn't a quartermaster, or even if there isn't a medic, there are other ways you can do things. Like, someone else can also fulfill that role, like fill that gap of not having a quartermaster. They just wouldn't have these extra benefits.
Sort of benefits. Yeah, for sure.
I think we could work around that. And we can talk about that when it comes to character creation or campaign planning, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some possible strengths that we would recommend for quartermaster?
I want to say intellect or whatever we've got.
Intellect, maybe physicality?
Possibly, or sensitivity, in terms of like being sensitive to the group's needs. But then possibly the medic might be more.
Medic would definitely have sensitivity. Now, we wanted to say, okay, so sensitivity is not just about cryptids and extrasensory.
No, it's not.
Right?
No, it needs to be more broad than that. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Physical is a good point, because like almost bedtime saying they need to be carrying a lot of stuff. They need to be.
They have the biggest backpack.
Yeah, and also intellect and physicality are quite a nice juxtaposition in terms of stats.
I think so.
It moves away from the kind of like prescriptive kind of traditional role playing.
Right?
Kind of
Oh, if you're strong, then you can't also be smart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excuse you.
You can't be a strong elf. What?
Give us the buff elf wizards.
Yeah.
The wizards who take strength.
The wizard tank.
As a dump stat.
Tank card.
The himbo. Give me the himbo wizard.
100%. 100%.
Okay. All right. I think that's a good point for the quartermaster. Hit save. Wait. Yep. I don't have to. Engineer.
Yeah. So this is person. It's the maintenance of the actual boat and the repairs and the upgrades. So maintenance, repairs. Oh, maintenance and repairing is the same thing. Maintenance, upkeep, and
maintenance and
upgrades.
Ship upgrades.
Yep.
Yeah. If any damage is done to the ship, this scout is let's see, always ready with their tool belt. Yeah. I just liked that mental image. They also have a good eye for construction upgrades. I'll say ship improvements up there. Also have a good eye for construction upgrades that will, let's say, enhance the performance of the ship itself.
Yeah.
All right. For the engineer, they've got their tool belt.
Yeah. Tools of the trade.
Tools of the trade, yes. Tools of the trade.
'Cause these moves have to have a kind of like ring to them, don't they?
Yeah. Architect? They're kind of an architect. Or is that more like describing...
What are they called? They're called shipbuilders, aren't they? Or, I can't remember what they're
Oh,
called.
yeah, shipbuilder.
I think there's a term. I think there's another term for it. I need to look it up. I can't look it up on my laptop.
Shipbuilding. I think you're right. I think there is another term for it, but shipbuilder I think is appropriate.
Yeah.
Term for shipbuilder. A shipwright.
Shipwright, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
That sounds even cooler.
Perfect.
So with that kind of badge, with the shipwright
Do we want that
badge,
instead of engineer then? Do we want that instead of engineer?
Oh.
Shipwright. Oh, I think we do.
Well, there's still a slight difference. A shipwright will build them, but they may not necessarily be the same ones. Well, you know? Yeah.
I think you would. I think you would take it to a shipwright if you wanted it repaired.
Yeah.
If you wanted, the hull repaired or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shipwright's a lovely little term. Lovely little term.
Yep, I'm in love with it.
I love that. I love that.
So
excellent. We're discovering things.
We are.
Synonym discovery. Ah.
We like words.
Thank you, Google.
Oh, sorry. Did I miss something? I think you meant physicality. What did I say?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry. You are correct.
Thank you.
Yes. I think the shipwright needs some physicality, too. And intuition. I think sensitivity and physicality would be pretty good for them. Or intellect and sensitivity. Because to see...
What about physicality, though? I mean, you're literally repairing a boat with tools.
I would say physicality and sensitivity, then, for the shipwright.
I would as well.
Because you need the intuition...
Feeling the boat, yep.
To speak to the boat, to imagine how it's going to react in different situations, to envision new improvements to it.
Almost like Jason the Argonauts, we're talking to the Athena on the bow, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Kind of understanding the ship.
Sensitivity, noise.
I like that.
Noise. Commune with the boat. Yes.
Yep.
So
definitely,
I like the idea of there being a badge for shipwright that has to deal with being able to make improvements and upgrades on the fly. So instead of going back to town,
what would you call that? There to repair.
Something about being resourceful.
The whole healer. No, don't. Something about
Oh, jury rigging is a different term.
I'm trying to think what we could do. Yeah, like repairing when you're out.
Yeah.
Even on the water.
Yeah.
Patch.
The world is my workshop.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't need one single place.
Watery workshop.
Watery workshop. Yeah. Do you like that better?
Just write it down, and we can come up with it later. As long as we know what we're talking about.
We know what we're looking for here. Yeah.
But the terms are one of the last things that will happen.
Yeah.
Because that's the point where it all comes together. I think that's the point where it all comes together when you get these terms down, and they feel like it gives an overall aesthetic and kind of like a feel of the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you get those vibes.
It makes it feel very unique then.
Yeah. Like how you felt when we decided on the playbooks.
Exactly. It's something just kind of goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It clicks, yes, exactly. And you know when you've got it. 9 out of 10 times you know when you've got something right.
I think as we... Oh, you know what? We're actually describing things in threes here. We have always prepared, something handier in a pinch, extra inventory for tools. We've got tools of the trade, watery workshop.
One more for now. We might need more of them, but just for now.
Yeah, I like having 3s, which means we should probably add a 3rd for the skipper.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, the skipper's only got 2, is it? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So let's keep thinking about the shipwright. Tools of the trade, watery workshop. What are some other things that?
Do you say they supplied like food and stuff as well, or was it?
That's the quartermaster.
That's quartermaster. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Quartermaster's set. What about So you said jury rigging or jerry rigging, almost bedtime. That term has different connotations in like the legal and justice system as well. But something along those lines, right? Where you can repair something with anything, like duct tape and toothpicks and stuff like jury tampering. Jury rigging is also a term for it. But yes, jury tampering. But that concept though is absolutely, you're exactly right, absolutely something we want to include in here.
Explain to me what you mean in terms of like, you mean fixing anything?
Fixing even if all you have is duct tape and bubble gum. Or especially the boat, but being able to make repairs even with
MacGyver move.
Right? That's kind of what we're thinking. But can we call it MacGyver?
Of course you can, yeah. Of course you can.
We'll just call it MacGyver. Because the shipwright could also contribute to like the defense of the ship too. So if in your game the shipwright wants to build some sort of crazy trebuchet, they can 100%. Do it.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, MacGyver, improvised repairs. Yep, I like that. I was gonna say like creative construction or something.
You can call it MacGyver. Yeah, MacGyver.
I like calling it MacGyver. Yeah, that gives us a better idea when we go back. I don't know what I was spelling there. Construction. That gives us a better mental recall, too, what we mean by this.
We kind of want, yeah.
Okay. Do we need to add another one to the skipper, or do we want to keep it there for now? I'm actually having a little bit of trouble.
Keep your cool.
What about settling disputes? Like if there's any sort of... No, that would be the mediator, though.
I think so.
The skipper, the face of the team? Yeah, I think by default, the skipper would be the voice, the face of the team. The face. They're the main representative. And when it comes to, like, interacting with troop leaders or adults or something, the skipper could be a part of that. But I don't want it to be too redundant with the mediator.
Yeah, we gotta be careful we don't stamp on each other.
Yeah, and honestly, the way this is we'll wait and see when we get to the mediator, but I almost feel like the skipper would also be the mediator in terms of the actual definition of the word mediator. Because of staying cool and having the ability to strategize for things and being the face.
I know what you mean. You could change the term, the mediator, to something else.
I think that needs to be something else, because then that parlay can be a function of the skipper.
What's in a ship term? Who would be the person that kind of like like arranged kind of like deals or like
So Almost Bedtime just said maybe mediator is more of a liaison.
Liaison's good.
Liaison's very good. Specifically with the cryptids. So this is that playbook that has a particular sensitivity to cryptids. Yeah. And we're trying to capture that in a way that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
So mediator does sound good, But maybe mediator being different from negotiator, you know? We need a good synonym
Well,
for...
you could have negotiator for the move for the skipper.
Yeah. So
And then
we would take parlay out of there then, because that's really what it is. That's what the parlay is. Parlay negotiation. Because this last one, what we have been calling the mediator, is very much that supernatural link.
it is, yeah.
There's a word.
Because they have in fantasy games, they have different terms for them, like you know, like fey touched or anything like that. Like people that have got some association with like supernatural.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of why medium came into my mind. It's not the same, but mediums listen to and relay messages from spirits, extrasensory capabilities.
Well, they are nature
Something
spirits.
like
they are
that.
actually nature
Yeah.
spirits.
Let's find synonym for...
Medium, yeah.
Yeah, medium. Channel?
The channeler.
The channeler? The spiritualist, the seer? The conduit? What's the meaning for conduit? Because that sounds kind of cool.
Not quite. That's like holding an energy, isn't it? Or like channeling an energy.
Yeah.
I think that's quite right.
But a conduit might be okay, because a conduit is also used as, or defined by a channel, or defined as a channel for conveying water. Like nearby springs can supply the example here from Oxford Languages. A channel for conveying water or other fluid. Nearby springs supplied the conduit which ran into the brewery. You are a conductor of things. You are ensuring the flow, the connections for things.
I like it.
Conduit might actually work because of that double meaning. And it sounds a little bit smoother than, a little bit cooler as well than the channeler or the channel.
It does. Let's go for that for now.
I think for now, and I think that kind of captures what we're looking for there.
It definitely does capture what we want, yeah.
Let us know what you think in the chat. Yeah, and then it makes them a little different from the other playbooks, since it's not roll on the ship, a little outside the norm.
Yeah,
which
that's
fits.
true.
Yeah. So that would definitely be sensitivity. For sure.
Yeah, that's the mainstay, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so
and
should we just go ahead and...
Sensitivity and mentality.
Yes. Should we go ahead and work on the conduit, since we're here already?
Might as well, yeah.
The conduit...
Because you have to maintain the center as well. Which takes a lot of mentality, you know.
Because if you're working with cryptids can play mind games. You need to be able to maintain your sense of self. Connection.
And it's very out there as well. Experience.
Supernatural world of the cryptids. Yeah. The conduit shares a special connection to the supernatural world of the cryptids and have a heightened awareness / sensitivity to their presence and needs. The conduit can aid the crew in finding and befriending. Or finding and interacting with, maybe. Communicating with the cryptids. Though sometimes these interactions can cause lasting effects on this scout. Something like that. Actually, no, there's a different way I wanted to say that. When it came to what you said about the mentality, the conduit can aid the crew in finding and communicating with local cryptids. Period. While this can sometimes be dangerous, this scout has a, let's say, strong sense of self and grounded mentality that protects them from some of the more negative effects, more harmful effects.
Yeah.
Of cryptid negotiation. Something along those lines.
Cryptid influence.
Yes. There we go. And we can have different character building hooks in here. So perhaps they were exposed to cryptids more often. Perhaps their family had some dealings, or they are one. Something like that.
Mm. So I'm thinking, just to have a little pause, I'm thinking that Lucille might have to do 8 characters. Not 5. Because originally had the characters based on the stats, but they actually need to be based on the they are actually essentially based on the stats because they got a certain lean towards a certain thing, but there's only 5 stats,
right?
Whereas there's 8 playbooks. So I think she's gonna have to have another 3 characters.
Unless you want
could be
to...
any design she wants, obviously.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no limit to what they can do because we've got the 5 main stats covered already by those illustrations. So the other 3 can be whatever.
And actually, it's good to have some sort of character inspiration for these roles anyway.
I agree.
Within the section for the playbooks, because it's always nice when people can visualize the aesthetic, visualize the identity,
some sort of idea.
You know. Yeah,
exactly.
So
if any of after tonight, if any of these playbooks have a particular kind of because the sensitivity one looks very kind of outsidery in some ways, like in terms of like spiritual connection, whatever. But like for instance, the quartermaster will need some big backpack or something.
Yeah.
And another one might have a toolkit. So if we can keep those particularly visual ones separate at the end of the night, and I'll go to Lucille and say like, oh, can we have these with this particular equipment or whatever?
Yeah.
And they will make more sense.
I think we could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that would be pretty easy.
Any of them got a particular aesthetic kind of we want included in it, then we'll say that.
The lookout can have a spyglass or binoculars. You know, it could something along those lines. Maybe even have like some of the camouflage paint on them in case they need to like scout around a little bit to look out for things. Wayfinder would be at the helm of the wheel.
Well,
you can even have the little scenes of what they'd be doing on the boat. The anchor, I'm even thinking just leaning on an anchor.
Toes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think each of these is distinct enough where we could have something interesting for him. I know Lucille could come up with some amazing concepts too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just thinking. I mean, we can keep the 5 as they are, no problem at all. But I think the other 3, if we can have them slightly aesthetically distinct in terms of like the you know, the quartermaster with his supplies and stuff.
Here's a question. Do we need to narrow this down to 5? Or do we need to have some of these playbooks released as stretch goals? Have 3 bonus playbooks as stretch goals.
Well, 5 playbooks would be okay. 5 playbooks would be okay because they can cross over. Because they cover a lot of roles, right? I mean, what if we had 5? What could we get rid of, or what could we combine? I mean, the conduit needs to be 100% separate.
As one that's not typically there, or would that be an unlockable playbook? I'm thinking that for one of 2 reasons. We can create them anyway, because it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
If you wanted to have them as stretch goals in the book, that would be additional content. But that may also mean that you can kind of get away with not making too many changes to the existing character art if there's already too much that's done. If it's harder to shift and add to it, you can have some things as bonus content.
Yeah.
And keep to your core 5 roles. It depends on how much extra work it's going to be for Lucille. And what is within the realm of possible.
Well, I'm thinking. My now thought is that we have 8 playbook illustrations for the 8 roles, but the illustrations within the game could be a combination of any of them.
Yeah.
In a vignette, obviously.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 8. It doesn't have to be 8 characters in every single illustration, obviously.
No, not at
Not at all.
And you can have them mixed up.
Also, different parts of the book. Say we talk about the boat repairs, that would have the illustration of the shipwright, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that I just go to her after the session and say, like, we just need 3 other characters. And in fact, I don't think they need necessarily like visual hints to their roles. Really, they can just be generic, not generic, but like just of her invention. Whatever they need to look aesthetically,
Yeah. Absolutely could be. It's all up to how you want the art direction to go.
Well,
in the book.
I think that's fine. I think if we
Yeah.
Also, if she's got 3 others, because these are just the character aesthetic designs.
Yeah.
But she hasn't actually put them in their scenarios yet.
Which isn't really necessary.
No, but I can't. My initial thought, and I think it's a really beautiful idea, is that the playbooks, the scene, because in Inspirals, the 14s that are throughout the game are initially illustrated as around a gaming table doing shaping, doing like spell casting, and they're throughout the whole game, and it's something that people can keep going back to.
Yeah.
And going almost like grounding for them, the reader.
I did something similar for Bard. I really like that artistic approach. Because we
so
have 3 character designs, and then you see them in the different genres.
There you go, exactly. I think it really works really beautifully. So I want to say, the idea I had was that all the playbooks would be around the boat scene, and they would just come off it with like their different roles. So it would be a scene near the beach,
cool,
with the boat, and then the skipper would be inside near and the wayfinder and all these and the different areas of the boat, or on the beach, like getting the supplies together.
Yeah.
Like with like a I don't know, ice pack or something there, like a box.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool idea. Have that be like a full page.
Yeah, and then the playbooks would be the playbook section. So that scene with the boat would be the playbook section, and it would just be arrows coming off it with the different roles. So that's kind of what my intention was from the beginning.
Yeah, we just need to make sure then we keep the text for the playbook descriptions pretty light. Just to make sure it all fits.
That page arc could just be the titles on that page, and then the next page would be a breakdown of each playbook, basically.
Perfect.
So like the introductory image,
yeah,
basically of the playbook.
Okay, I think I understand better now.
That'd be so stunning. That'd be so
very cool. Yeah. Ooh, let's do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So I think Lucille should do another 3 characters then. Basically, that's what I'm saying. And then she can pick and choose how they go through the game then.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Conduit. Let's come up with some basic let's come up with some badges. Let's come up with some cool moves for the conduit. First one I wrote down is Cryptid Sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That's something they'll be able to do.
Cryptid Radar.
Cryptid Radar.
That's also kind of ship related.
It is. Or Compass.
Cryptid compass. Nice.
Alliteration.
I like it.
Okay, what else could we do with that? Translator?
Yeah. That's good.
Because cryptids won't always speak with the words we use. And they can kind of get a sense for what they need and what they're trying to do.
Translator or interpreter?
Interpreter. Better. Better. Because a translator can tell you what something says. An interpreter will be able to actually communicate.
Yeah.
Yes. Fun fact.
One more?
There are differences between those two jobs. Yes.
Yeah. Something to do with the rest of the party rather than the cryptids. Something to do with the rest of the group.
What about something to do with the mental resilience? Because they themselves are very resilient with their sense of self and identity and maintaining that boundary when working with cryptids. Cryptids are going to be a little bit like the Fae, y'all. Very tricksy. But if they are able to also have some sort of protective influence, protective effect for the rest of the crew, that would be pretty good. Reality check? What if we called it something like a reality check?
Quite like that. Quite like that. Yeah. I like that. That's good. Yeah, I get what you mean. That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
I think that's a good one for the combo.
Good for now, yep.
All right, we've got 4 more. I want to underline.
I'm gonna message Lucille and start it with, "You're gonna hate me."
Just say it's all Scriv's fault.
It's not all your fault.
You can blame me. It's okay. I can take the fall. We're good. I can take a punch. I would take a punch for you, my friend. And I would deliver a punch for you, too.
Same. Very much so.
Friendship. Okay. We've got lookout. I'm gonna, as you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start filling out for the other ones. Strengths. Just get the placeholder bullets going in there. I think when it comes to tabletop role-playing games, figuring out your different playbooks, classes, types of characters in any RPG, like computer RPGs as well, CRPGs, it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Character creation and figuring out what kind of cool stuff you can do and how, like what those progression trees are.
100%. 100%. I'll just put, "You're gonna hate me. We need 3 more scout designs." See what they say.
I think
it's only more money. Doesn't
whatever.
It doesn't matter that much. It's not like no.
It's only more money.
Art.
Oh no, more art.
Oh no, more art, more commissions.
I think that's one of the most like shrewd business things I've ever heard you say. That is business Rich talking.
Often,
it's like, what? You don't want more money?
Yeah, it would be weird though, wouldn't it? Like, no, I refuse to do any more designs.
It depends. Like, I would easily turn down, well, maybe not always easily, but I would turn down or be tempted to turn down a job even if it meant taking a cut in money if it was something I was like morally objecting to.
Oh,
you know?
Of course.
But this isn't something that they're gonna morally object to. I would like to pay you more to do your passion. Assuming art is their passion. I'd say that's a pretty fair assumption.
I think it's a pretty fair assumption. It's hilarious.
It's like me when you ask me if I want to be part of the different projects and games. Like, before we even talk about anything that has to do with, you know, the funding of projects, You just literally, this happened today, Scribblers.
Oh, I
Said,
know,
hey,
yeah.
I've got this
I'm
grand
terrible
idea.
at it. I'm
And I
terrible,
just go,
yeah.
really? Tell me more. What is it? Please, tell me. I'm ready. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm excited because game design and writing is a passion. And the minute it starts to feel like work... Okay, I need a quick segue here because this is... I saw a thing on like Instagram or Twitter, I can't remember what it was, but this short little commentary, this little observation that our societies don't really accept hobbies just for being hobbies. Mm-hmm. And there's always that, especially when we live in capitalistic societies, which many of us do, there's always that sense of, oh, I really love doing X. This brings me joy and fulfillment. Must monetize. I have to make this profitable. I have to turn this into a job. And it can be very, very damaging. It can be.
I think so.
Even though, like, I want to do this full time, it's more because of the joy I derive from it versus I'm not allowed to just enjoy something just for the sake of doing it. You know, and I think that there's a fine line that indie creators and freelancers and like self-employed contractors will walk. It really is like a balancing act between turning it into something profitable and monetizing everything capitalistic, blah, but also finding your what's the word? There's a Japanese concept where you're able to do something that you love and that also is your career, but it never really diminishes your enjoyment of the thing. Is it isekai or ichi? I can't remember. No, isekai is something else. That's that genre of anime where you're ported into like a video game world. Yeah. Ikigai. I think it's ikigai, something like that. Okay. And it's a wonderful, wonderful concept, and I think that represents like that Venn diagram convergence.
I could have a whole chat to you about this on stream.
Right?
We could have a whole session about this. It's really interesting. You really made me think about things because, like, since I've become a full-time designer, and obviously paying myself a small wage, and my partner, who's the writer in all our games, a wage, that balancing act's become even more pertinent. That's kind of like we have to make enough to support our living,
right?
But I never want it to become more than a basic living. Does that make sense? I never want it to become like the money to become like the front and foremost of the kind of motivation behind it.
Right.
I want us to be comfortable and to give enough for feed the children and stuff.
Of course.
And even maybe even be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be expense of what I choose to develop.
Right.
That's the thing. Like,
there's a balance there.
Exactly.
And I think it can be dangerous sometimes when society says, well, you need to make a living. I mean, we do need to make a living. Yeah. We exist in this society. We have to do it unless you are able to completely go off the grid and be fully self-sustaining, and you don't have a need for things that cost a lot of money externally, but that also costs sometimes quite a bit to get to that point.
It does.
If I want to go up and homestead and have a farm, I have to buy land. So
exactly.
I've been thinking about it a lot as well. Like, I never want to get to the point where what I'm passionate about becomes as stressful as like my current day job.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the big advantage I had is that, and it doesn't sound much like an advantage, but like I worked for the deaf charity for 12 years on minimum wage, and I think that made me feel I loved the job though.
Yeah. It was
never a bit of money. It's not like someone's come from like I don't know, the business sector or like the financial sector and got into game design and gone, well, I need to earn the same amount as that, because I had nothing to lose financially. I had nothing to lose. So it wasn't like it wasn't dropping off a huge amount.
Yeah.
But it was quite level for me. So like any money I get from game design or selling games is kind of like a bonus for me now. It's kind of like it's just always a bonus. It's always like a little bit of a perk. So and that's probably why I'm so like I am, you know, not picking myself up at all, but I'm quite generous with my support and my money as well. Like I paid the artists and writers a huge amount of money over what the big company, you know, the companies do.
Right. And I think that goes along with the job as well, though, because not only are you a content creator and a publisher, but you are actively investing in this community. Because that's, if you are fortunate enough, in general terms, if you're fortunate enough to derive so much joy and, like, sustenance from a certain community that you're a part of, you want to continue to invest in it because it's a mutually beneficial kind of relationship, I think.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean,
when I'm able to make that jump, when I can get to the point where I can afford to make that jump myself, definitely want to have the same approach.
Yeah, well, 100%. Yeah, but we're all supporting each other. You know,
Yeah.
And it feels that way a lot, and it feels like there's quite a tight knit group. And when people say like, well, the same people get the same the opportunities all the time with a certain company, it's because they've established their relationship in some ways.
There's a lot of trust that needs to be built. And that again is a balancing act. It's good to continue to work with people you trust because then you know that the end result will be at a certain level, but being able to also community build and bring new people in too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it can be tough. It can absolutely be tough. And something I would like to do for for future projects and things is continuously try to find new people to work with as well. Obviously, the same people too, but I don't know. There's value in both, but then investing in other projects from other people that are outside of like the ones I normally create with or write with. I don't know. There's a lot to be said for community building in a way that is reasonable and fulfilling for creators, regardless of what your level or your situation is. There's always something that can be done to build things up. Okay. Interesting segue. Welcome to Chill Creations, Scribblers. That's what happens on this stream.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah. We're going to call that real talk moment. Just
maybe
like
because we said we talked about the move, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's that's literally moved us into it.
Okay.
Reality check was the move.
It was.
Yeah, the massive reality check. Brilliant.
Bum, bum, bum. So
that's organic creation. I've seen it.
Look out, because we do need to. It's getting a little late. We're gonna need to try to finish this, but I think we can do this.
We'll do one more, and then during the week we'll complete the others before next stream.
Because we could do speed round, and at least get stuff down that we can then refine.
All right, let's just do bullet points then.
Yep. So look out. They keep a lookout. They keep an eye out for potential hazards, dangers, or obstructions. They are also skilled at maneuvering unseen.
Yep.
Even on land. Haha. All right.
Yeah.
So, for the lookout.
Well, there's stats as well.
Ooh. So for stats, I'm thinking...
Oh, we've got 5, haven't we? 5?
We don't have anyone other than the skipper having personality.
So what's the what was the conduit? What are their stats?
The conduit is sensitivity and mentality. Sensitivity was kind of required, but so mentality versus personality. and force of personality.
But there's no reason why it has to be two.
It doesn't have to be two.
Just, no, I mean, there could be personality in with the conduit as well.
Yeah. What if when we had possible strengths, we have some recommendations and we can say pick two?
Yeah,
let's not worry about
exactly.
that right now, though. I think that's the strength. Strengths will come later.
The lookout still needs more of a lean in though.
Yes.
It's not physicality, but then if they're stealthy.
Yeah. Mentality or intellect? Physicality, I think, could be part of it. You could do mentality and physicality, or intellect and personality, because personality, I see that as kind of being charisma. If we were to look
It could
at
be
some
pick any.
alternatives, it could be pick any. Yeah. Because if you're looking at force of personality, that also has to do with how you project your sense of self. But is that also mentality? Yeah. So I think in that sense, personality might make more sense.
Yeah.
For
the conduit.
The conduit. But again, any of these playbooks can choose.
Yeah, you can mess.
Any of
can
them.
mess with them.
Yeah, sensitivity definitely makes sense. Almost bedtime for the lookout as well, because sensitivity is also your intuition.
Definitely not sensitivity just for the no. Definitely.
No, certainly not. So how about sensitivity and intellect? Because looking at patterns, I think would be important.
Yeah. These are just suggestions.
Yeah.
You can play any sort of lookout you want.
Yep. So how about something like Farsight, camouflage?
So the other option, as in Monster of the Week, is that you have instead of having strengths or certain recommendations, you have an array. So you have all the arrays at the beginning, and they're different combinations of stats.
Yeah. And
you pick an array. So everyone has a pool of arrays. You know, like standard array in D&D, where you have like. So that's how it's done in there. So you just pick.
Associated with playbooks. Well, specific
yeah.
Playbooks?
So in the Monster of the Week playbooks, there's like 5.
You have
arrays.
your recommended array for each playbook. And the playbooks usually prescribe them. Which we could do if you don't want to allow players to do it themselves, or you have recommended array for this particular scout. Array. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do that. Let's do that instead. So we're going to remember that this is now going to be recommended array.
Yep.
I'll just put that in italics just so we go back to all of them. That's fine. I think that'll be a cleaner way of doing it.
What's the lookout strengths though?
Strengths or like moves?
What are the lookout strengths? Oh, sensitivity.
Sensitivity.
Yeah, because sensitivity also implies like the environment, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely
like nature.
Does.
So that's it's quite pertinent. It's quite pertinent.
Yeah,
actually.
It's more than just cryptids for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so for some ideas for the lookout. Keeping an eye out for potential hazards, dangers, obstructions, skilled at maneuvering, unseen. I started putting down like Farsight, camouflage.
Yeah, camouflage is good.
What about like pattern recognition?
That's quite good.
And
Patterns.
by that I mean, if they've run into a certain type of obstacle before, maybe it'll be easier for them to figure out how to deal with it. I don't know. Or recognize it more quickly.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
Pattern recognition.
Seen this before.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, because we need terms that are kind of quite catchy, quite snappy. Almost like catchphrases. Yeah, so that's perfect. Thanks, Alzbetter.
Okay, Wayfinder. The Wayfinder is the navigator of the ship. They ensure that the scouts stay on course and don't get lost in the woods and waterways. They have a natural sense of direction and maybe even purpose.
That's
Okay.
good.
Let's say internal compass or true north, something about always knowing where.
True North's good.
True north?
True North's good. Yeah. That's good.
They'll always know which way is north. Or they can designate like a point of reference. It's like I will always know where this thing, we can still call it true north, but always know where A is in relation to me at all times. That could be a thing. Let's say
Something to do with navigating people. How would you put that? How would that come out? Peacekeeper or something like that. Something like somebody can navigate arguments or like.
that's a skipper though.
Yeah, skipper in it. Yeah.
With parlay and negotiation.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
In the face. I think there are other things we can do with Wayfinder though. So what about
travel time's going to come into it. Sorry.
travel
Almost bedtime,
time?
sorry.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm
That's going to
thinking
come
in the
into
back
it.
of my
Resources,
head.
travel time, and
So
like,
how about like as the crow flies, they can find the fastest, most direct route to wherever you need to go,
Yeah.
which helps with travel time.
Call it outboard motor.
Outboard mode. I'll write that down.
Yeah.
And how about this one? Quick escape. In addition
Yes,
to being
that's-
able
that's
to
good.
find the fastest way to where you need to go, you can also
You get out of the
identify.
situation. Yeah. Quick escape's good. Quick escape's good.
Yeah.
Because it's good because in most Powerball Apocalypse games, that is one of the moves is escape. Or out of the corner type thing.
Yeah. I think that would be very
In
useful.
a pinch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah.
We're
That's
doing
good.
well. Anchor.
We are doing well. What's their stats though?
Did we want to do that now? So
Not
Wayfinder.
necessary.
I almost feel like it would be similar. Ooh, is this too similar to Lookout?
Yeah,
No.
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think it
Isn't
is.
it?
I think it's distinct enough. Let's look at personality. I think personality could be good here.
Yeah, and physicality, I think.
Yeah. They have
think
to be the
personality,
ones
physicality.
physically steering
Well,
the
they
boat
are, yeah,
as
and
well.
also they're
Yeah.
also escaping from situations.
Yeah.
And keeping people steady on a course.
Yeah.
Steady in a course type thing. Yeah, so I think personality and physicality.
Yeah.
That's different enough. Yeah. Good.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm also thinking physicality and intellect, possibly.
Intellect. Okay. Possibly.
Navigation. In general.
Yeah.
And plotting
Ordnance
routes.
survey, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compass and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well,
We'll think about
we
it.
can have it.
Mainly because
We
I'm
can have it.
also thinking personality and physicality could be really good for the anchor. The grounding,
100%.
stabilizing
No,
muscle of the crew.
That would be more. But except it'd be the other way around. It'd be physical,
Yeah.
physically, and then.
Yeah.
So change the wayfinder to exactly, personality and physicality and personality, yeah.
Okay, and we can go physicality and intellect for Wayfinder?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, the anchor.
That's better.
This will be fun. The anchor serves as the protector and stabilizer of the ship and its crew. Whether through, let's say, securing the ship, anchoring, like literally anchoring the ship in one place, or maybe stabilizing in rough waters.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm thinking more figuratively and literally.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there'd be one on the ropes, for instance, when it was really, really tough to hold on to them.
Yeah.
They'd be incredibly.
Which also gives the anchor
strong.
a bit of that rigor. Rigging roll
yeah,
too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Excellent.
Okay.
One of the moves could be steadying the ship.
Yep. Steady the ship.
As
Steady as she goes.
Steady as she goes, yeah.
Safe harbor. If you need to actually drop anchor and
Safe
leave the
harbor's
ship, or
like
find
that.
a safe place, that could be a good one.
Yeah.
And then, how about steadfast defender? If things start getting rocky with the cryptid, they actually can be not always, like, literally always the muscle, but like the muscle of the group.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. There's a term for it.
There is another term for it.
Strong arm.
Strong arm.
Something like that. I know what you mean. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. Yeah, literally.
Like a rock. Almost bedtime said like a rock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down too.
Yeah, but that was anything
funny.
like that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, last one. And then we've gone through all 8. I think we're okay. The medic.
Yep.
The medic.
So we need to look at this. We need to look at the strengths, and we need to make sure that they're quite well divided. So this one needs to have ones that we're not used so much.
Personality. I think personality again. And mentality.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that feels like quite balanced for me now.
That's right.
Yeah.
There we go. The medic helps treat wounds and patch people up if adventures get a little rough, or if someone begins to feel ill.
Yep.
Let's see. They can help ease the pains of maybe both physical and
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
like mental, emotional injuries.
Fatigue, things like that. Yeah, exactly. Bolster.
Yeah. Oh, bolster is a good move.
Yeah, bolster's a good move.
Bolster. Effects, we'll say. I can't think of a better word for that. Okay. So bolster.
Yeah.
Diagnosis.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say an apple a day just because it sounded funny, but I don't know how we would communicate that. Like what that would end up being. Not as bad as it looks. Is that, so bedtime said not as bad as it looked. Is that something for the medic?
It depends what the move is.
Yeah. Yeah. So that could be like healing.
It.
So if there's like a wound, like, oh my god, a chest wound. Oh, it's not as bad as it looks. Look.
Well, just a scratch.
Just a scratch. Just a flesh wound. So I think bolster could also be like preventative care. Well,
I was also thinking like, because they're going to be in the woods a lot and stuff, like in terms of like herbs or like
natural remedies.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm wondering about. Yeah.
Healing herbs. That would be a cool one.
We can think about that later.
Yeah.
They might come into it naturally with the role playing anyway, so we don't have to be that prescriptive about stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That was our last one.
Yep, nice one.
We have all 8 playbooks. So we have the skipper, the quartermaster, the shipwright, the lookout, the wayfinder, the anchor, the medic, and the conduit.
Nice.
How do you feel about these?
Brilliant. They're wonderful.
I think each one is distinct enough. At first, I was a little bit worried about the wayfinder and the lookout, but I think they are 2 distinct roles because the wayfinder and the lookout, the navigator and the watch officer are not the same role, and it would be very hard to be the same role.
Also, the wayfinder isn't particularly like sort of stealthy character or the kind of like subterfuge.
You're the pilot of the ship.
Yeah, exactly.
You're driving.
Yeah.
That's like the pilot and the co-pilot. You've got to work 100%. Together, you know.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I think they're good. I think the names are good. I think the leanings are good. I think their moves potentially could be brilliant.
I think so too, and I think they work nicely with the other moves.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we may need more than 3 each, but we'll do that later on. But we've got the basics down.
I think 3 is probably good. I don't know how much more I would go above that, since we already have basic moves. We have badge moves.
We've got a lot of basic
separate.
moves as well. We've got a lot of basic moves, and we also got the cryptid move.
Yep.
Which going to be, a lot of things happening with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you already put the badges in here as well? Creek creation, safety tools, River Scout code.
Everything's in there, I think.
Okay.
In terms of the contents list.
Okay.
Badges, exploring's badges,
Okay.
It explains about badges before we go into the playbooks, basically.
Yeah.
It briefly says about moves and badges,
Oh, okay. Yeah. But they weren't listed
basic
in there
moves
yet.
and badges.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I haven't written them down. Yeah.
Oh, we came up with some, though. During a past stream. We came up with our
badges?
basic moves and badge moves, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the basic moves are in there, I think.
I don't see them yet. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I haven't fleshed. I obviously haven't fleshed it out yet.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to review them really quickly while we were looking at looking at the playbooks. But no, I think this is good.
I haven't put the basic moves in yet.
No worries. I was just looking for reference. I'll look
on the
up
other document. Yeah.
Yep. So okay.
Cut and paste.
Yeah, easy. I think this is good. I think this is going to be exciting. As a designer, I'm already looking at this thinking, okay, well, I can imagine how this role would play out, or I can see that, like, I would really like to personally play a shipwright or quartermaster. You know, I would love to play that role. I'm getting excited as a player too for these different playbooks.
That's good. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Yeah, I am as well. Yeah, I'd probably play the lookout.
Try these out. Lookout would be a good lookout, I think.
Yeah, the medic. I always like to play clerics or like buffers, support a role. So that appeals to me. But it's gonna be I'm really, 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 really excited about this. I think it's gonna be such a lovely little not necessarily like an expansive game, but like something that people can pick up and really get into quickly.
Yeah.
With like very minimal prep. and kind of like really embrace different elements of it, like the boat mechanics and the kind of the creek creation and the kind of the dual aspects of mystery and sabotage.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that can be done. There's a lot that you can do in this game.
I think jams would be cool with it. I think creating like creeks and
cool.
cryptids.
Creek jam.
Creek jam. Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like
weird.
I'm just imagining. Hey y'all, you want to try some creek jam? I made it in the backyard.
We could promote it like that. Yeah.
Some people call it pond scum. I call it creek jam.
But also the crowdfund, the Kickstarter will be lovely for this.
Yes.
And I've got a meeting with Backkit tomorrow. Who want to promote? They want to do marketing for the game. So.
Excellent.
From launch, they'll have Backkit marketing, which will be really good.
That'll be good. Okay. Hitting save. Going back to our duet page. That's good. Yeah. I hope
really
those of you in the chat enjoyed this. If you're catching this on YouTube, let us know what playbooks you're most excited about. I want to know what people are interested in, and if you already have ideas of what kind of character you would play. Who would your scout be? What would they do? How are you enjoying this series so far? Please do let us know. Because this is the first time we've been doing a full creation, start to finish, of a fully homemade TTRPG. So, very, very exciting. Hope you all enjoyed it. Do you have anything else you'd like to mention before we close up?
Well, just overall, it's finished.
Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Your camera!
Weird.
You're gonna do that mic drop and then just leave us like that?
That was really weird.
That was weird. Okay, so what? Over Isles is finished? The
Overalls
production?
Finished. Yeah, the full game's finished, so we just need to send it off to printers now and start fulfilling that. Dragon Dow's is not far behind, so that's going to be done in a couple of weeks, by the end of March.
That's so
we'll
fast.
have 2 new games.
Oh my
Exciting.
gosh.
And as was mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I've arranged for the Hatchlings to restart, which is my kind of roots in the role-playing community. So I'm going to be running a team role-playing group or tabletop group with some Warhammer and some D&D and some indie games.
That's fantastic.
And I'm going to be starting my first game design workshop with young people.
That's going
to
to
be
be wonderful.
on the Carter system by Peach Garden Games, so that's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yes, this is Dragon Dow's is based on it, so it's basically like a journaling format or a system reference document.
Yes.
Using playing cards. So I think that'd be amazing to get kids to start coming up with their own concepts and their own sort of journeys.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Any subject they want.
That's cool. I've done storytelling workshops and like writing workshops with kids before, but I haven't done a game design workshop for kids.
I've wanted to do that for absolutely ages, for years. I wanted to do that since I started the whole journey. So
I think that's
perfect. Very exciting. I mean,
you've got the experience for it, and we've had game design like designer chats and interviews here on the channel too. So there's lots. I wanna attend that class. Sounds great.
Let's get some young people making role playing games as opposed to video games. You know.
Video games are also pretty cool, but role playing games and tabletop games are a little bit more immediately accessible.
That is the thing. That's the thing.
And game design translates across the different mediums.
It does. A lot of my games are influenced by video games. 100%.
Yep. Same. Absolutely. Okay. That's all very good news. You have some fantastic stuff on the horizon, and lots more to come. So thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Tune in again in 2 weeks for part 7. Part 7 of the game design series. I think we're going to talk about the boat next time, right?
Playbooks. We want to get the main elements. I think 10 parts, 10 episodes on the actual games. Before 11th part, I would say would be crowdfunding. Starting to talk about Kickstarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that. Are you okay with the next part being about the books? And then we go into maybe campaign prep?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Excellent.
definitely. Yeah.
We're getting there. I think we're...
We are, yeah.
We've got a lot more a lot more done. I like having these sessions, these streamed design sessions, because it also
it's very it focuses us, right?
It does. And it programs in time that we know for sure we're going to be working on Cryptid Creeks tonight.
Yeah, we have to get this done and this done.
We do have to get this done. I should have been doing this with Bard.
Well, I'll do it. I think I'll do it with all my projects, all the big ones in the future. Things that especially if it's a collaborative design project. Obviously, it's like we can check in with each other outside, which we do a lot. But this really, really focuses us on the design process.
Yeah, it's a very effective.
Gives us milestones, right?
Yeah.
Gives us milestones.
Like those milestones.
I hope more people do this. I hope more people.
I want to see it.
I know that what's he called? Matt Covell.
Claiming to be the first one to.
Yeah, I know. I laughed at that.
It's
like, actually a second. Yeah. So their new project, whatever it's going to be called, is they're trying to do that on their Patreon live. So it's a similar idea.
We're not even charging y'all for that. We're not putting this behind a Patreon paywall. We've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing game design streams from the beginning.
You have.
Come on now. Called out.
Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah. Don't come at us, please.
No.
We respect you and your work. And we love to see it. Okay. I'm gonna call it there. One. Yeah. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Day, morning, evening. Have a wonderful zone. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with us here this evening as we continue on this creative game design journey going down the creek of cryptids, Cryptid Creek. Keep adventuring.
Yeah.
Keep scribbling. And we will see you next time. Catch you later, scribblers. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.